All right, good morning, guys. Hope you had a good weekend. Wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to Storm Talk. I was out for a few days last week, so getting back into the swing here today. And of course, we have another system to track that could cause some problems for us. And again, it looks like it's going to be an Air Friday. We'll have more on that coming up in just a second. There are a couple of things to point out in between now and then that certainly will take place. As always, welcome to the chat. You can chat with me and others that are here with us today on social media pages like Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube as well. You can do all that. If you're watching on the phone, on the app itself, or on streaming like Roku or Fire Stick, unfortunately, you will not be able to see, unless you're watching the playback later, you will see some of the comments fly by, but live here you will not. So if you have anything you need to ask, go right in and chime in there. Hello to Dan. Hello to Shonda. Hello from up there in Jeffersonville. Thank you, Tanya. Appreciate that for all of us there, team. Everyone does a great job here. Thank you, Laura. Good morning to you as well. Hopefully, as I always say, I will try to answer as many as your questions as I possibly can in the forecast and the outlook that I'm about to give. But still, if I haven't quite answered everything entirely, as always, let me know. All right, let's start with the short-term outlooks, then we'll get into a little more on the longer-term side. We'll begin with the latest in Storm Prediction Center, which, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, we're good. And actually, it's more of a calmer setup here for the next few days. If anything, as you're about to see, one of the issues we'll have will be a frost or even a freeze potential, and even some grapple could fall, which is more like soft hail, could actually fall in some areas as early as tomorrow. So not exactly a thunderstormy, severe weather setup here for the next couple of days. The atmosphere is not to that point at all. It's still in its recharging phase, if you will. So that means the first half of the week here is going to be indeed quiet. Now, we've got a beautiful looking sky. We've had some solid blue sky in some areas. Some areas have had cloud cover. Some of you had some rain to the north. Kind of a mix of both ideas. That's kind of playing games with thermometer, and it likely will play games with thermometer for the rest of the day as well. 52 now in Louisville, 49 into Salem. It's not bad when you're out there in the sun because the wind isn't overly strong. So when you're out there, it actually feels relatively pleasant, about what you expect for March. So good looking setup overall until clouds try to ruin the show a little bit later on. You see the last of the showers. There really wasn't much really to add up to anything, moving quickly to the I-71 corridor heading to the Big Sandy area here very soon. All right, the cloud cover. All right, so you can see the clouds that broke up over the area. So we're going back into a sunny scenario here in Louisville. But just like you can cue the Jaws theme there is a batch of clouds moving in across Lawrence County, Indiana, all the way up to near Brown County that are dropping in. This is going to allow for an overcast spaceship scenario. Now, these will begin to thin out as we head into this afternoon. The only issue we've got is that's a very low cloud deck. This is the type that can really keep you cool, blocking out much of the sun. Even a March sun can really keep a really cool day like this. But there will be later on to this evening, late afternoon, a streak of mid to high level clouds that will develop along the actual jet streak itself across the Ohio River Valley. That will quickly form. They're not there yet, but they will form this afternoon. That can also create more of a hazy sunshine ordeal. So really, we have two different types of clouds working against us today. Hopefully, we can at least negotiate somewhat at the table to get a few hours of sun to get us well into the 50s, but don't be surprised if temperatures do fall a couple degrees if we get overcast again this afternoon. But as far as precipitation goes, we're fine on that until tomorrow. All right. Now, the severe threat today is down here in the south, the southern part of the Atlanta area. Never a good time to fly into a connecting hub at Atlanta with thunderstorms in the south end like that. Makes it difficult to get down here to Florida, which a lot of people are trying to get to this time of the year. But this entire wave is blocking that path. So a lot of planes are having to fly either way above it or go around it. So that's going to cause some delays there. So don't be surprised if you're trying to get to see Mickey and Minnie. You may hear delays for today. All right, let me show you Futurecast. You can see the cloud deck that moves on by. Tomorrow, we're still in the clouds, although we get a little sun toward midday. Now, tomorrow, it's another front that'll be dropping through. What is interesting about that is right here at about, say, 5 to 6 p.m., as the front is pushing south, there will be just enough of an opportunity for these small little convective showers that will pop on the radar in the late afternoon period. I'm really seeing a strong support and focus along 65 in Indiana and maybe up 71 into Kentucky. But that general triangle zone looks to be the spot to watch. They are not going to be overly heavy, but it is going to be so much colder above our heads that it wouldn't surprise me that one or two of these could have some grappa with it or small hail or soft hail with them as they move through in the afternoon. Not enough to cause any more than just a social media post, but at least want to mention it. They won't last very long because they're sun dependent. So the heating of the day is their baby. So once they lose that, they're gone and they will be gone. Then we have to worry about whether or not we end up with the chance. Whoops, I'm not sure why that went all the way over there. Sorry about that. I'm not done yet. I promise. I just don't know why the radar just went crazy on me. Sorry about that. One thing we'll have to watch out for, the computer apparently is done with me. It's like, you know what? Let's end this. Right here. Yes. Wednesday morning, frost and freeze potential after we get past the grapple chance. There is an opportunity to get a frost and freeze into the area. Growing season is likely begun now in many areas from what I have witnessed myself and amount of time into the month of March here. So this will likely trigger alerts of some type of frost advisory or freeze watch or something like that. Just be aware of that. My yard is certainly already to the point now where it needs mowing. I'm just being a big procrastinator and just waiting on that. Maybe it's sometime in July. All right. Then we get into the pattern for the end of the week. And this is where the storyline will begin to change for us. All right. Let's start with how the warm front will move through the area. We've got quite a bit of warm air surging into the area Thursday into Friday. This is all what we call more of a dirty warm sector as we into Friday morning. And some showers and storms trying to form along. These should be elevated. These tend to be more of an issue of hail. Small hail, not really anything much on the severe side. However, this is an area to watch right in through here, Iowa into Missouri. That is where this low, it's going to be like a bowling ball moving in from the Rockies right into the Midwest as it moves in the area. It's a very broad area where there's a lot of just lift going on in general. So it's really just about the organization of the storms. And it looks like there's going to be two different distinct zones to watch. One is going to be right along the actual low itself in the front. So Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois, target number one. Number two will be a classic V shape here. You're going to get another round of thunderstorms that can be supercell related, usually go into a line, and then can either block sometimes the thunderstorm potential on the northern side, which would put Indiana and Illinois perhaps into a block zone. That's possible. But it could also be very heavy rain as well for areas that it feeds northeast into Kentucky. Don't have enough support yet for us to go either way on whether or not this is going to be bad for everybody. I can just tell you that right now, this is the zone that looks to be much more prime for a tornado type of setup. This is a prime spot that, yes, you can get severe weather. Yes, you can get a tornado potential, but I think it's also a combination of very heavy rainfall that can develop with training when you get that slanted or that tilted look to the convection. So our area is highly uncertain. Areas to the west, Midwest, a little more likely right now as it stands for your severe potential out of this. And again, this will be Friday afternoon and evening for a lot of us. You don't see this very often, an outlook of slight and to enhanced already out for the end of the week. This is a bad news ordeal for St. Louis for sure, and Illinois, an area that's going to get absolutely just hammered in that severe threat with large hail. Supercells can easily form in this, and yeah, the tornado threat will be quite elevated with this type of setup. We are just unsure about our area, but we are into at least the slight risk zone as it stands already, just from the amount of warmth and moisture and just the general broad nature of the wind field itself. So yes, I got a feeling this is going to be an alert day for us, and we'll just take it day by day and see how the parameters line up. It's still early in the game, so this is just looking at the setup from afar, and everything on paper is lining up to be like this, to where you get a severe potential out of it. I was looking at the analogs, which are basically the way the models can take previous events that we've had in a similar setup and try to compare it and think, okay, based on that idea, what typically has happened for your severe weather potential. And sure enough, you see that it's lining up there into St. Louis and into Arkansas. So it lines up very well with the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, but also notice the sharp cutoff to its eastern side near I-65, which again leads to a lot more uncertainty for our area. But if you know friends or family into Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri, hopefully they're aware of the forecast, because that is the spot to watch for this week for some very nasty thunderstorms and potential for a tornado outbreak in that area. Now, the analog we also look at from what we call the CFS model, which, by the way, can see out pretty far in advance. It did very well with the March 3rd event of the high wind and at least the severe potential we had, but also very high wind scenario that we ended up taking part in on that day on March 3rd. But there was a tornado threat, if you remember, for a while. It did very well with that, days in advance, and sniffing that out. This particular model has been sniffing out this area of the plains, especially area on the red, which is just west of us, so really through here back in Illinois, Missouri, since March 17th. It has been targeting this area. So that gives another high confidence setup potential here for an active severe weather event. Interestingly enough, it also was seeing another date that is standing out for a potential active ordeal, and that one is a little more into our area. Let me explain that one. It's very end of the forecast. It's basically after the weekend, we get another warm surge coming our way. This may very well lead to 80s for the area. 80-degree weather, not a good thing in spring. You guys know how that works. And a lot more moisture at play. I do think similar spots to the one on Friday, but this would be maybe next Tuesday or Wednesday, probably next Wednesday. This is something to watch. This one's going to be a little closer to home for us as it moves on to the area. And the Storm Prediction Center or the analogs right now from the GFS, can only see out to about Tuesday. Can't really see the entire event, but it already is picking out the beginning of what that would be. That would be nearly a week and 3 days away. So you're getting a way big heads up on that one at this point. But we're getting to the time of the year. This is a lot different than snow forecasting is, obviously. You can start to pick out the elements in advance and then just see how things play out as you get closer. But we can at least see everything stacked up. And the way it is stacked up, the rest of March and April, it is going to be busy for us, unfortunately. Reminds me a lot of 2012 as far as the active spring season and potentially for some hot weather too for this summer. All right, so what questions do you have? Because I rambled there for like 20 minutes straight. And I don't want to get into too much detail over my head on this because it's Monday. So we got plenty of time, right? We got plenty of time, and it could go into our favor and go against the grain, which is fine with me. Carissa, we're moving into our new house Friday. We closed today. Well, congratulations on that. It's going to be a bad day for moving. There's never really a good day for moving, Carissa, you know that. I think overall you'll be fine into the afternoon, evening. Just keep in mind that we will have the warm front moving in with some general showers in the morning on Friday. So the best opportunity to get a quieter radar probably will be around lunch, but the rain chance in general is going to be high. I mean, you got a chance of rain in the morning and again, afternoon, evening, and it's the afternoon and evening round that could be the strongest if it plays out the way it could. So I know that's not the best news you want to hear, but I don't think the showers in the morning are going to be too hectic or crazy. I think you still get around and moving. Just take all the precautions now to keep everything dry the best you can in that moving process and be careful. Hopefully not a ton of wind. I'm not seeing a lot of wind right now. I do for Indianapolis and Ohio. They may very well be in wind advisories or even high wind watches out of this event, but that looks to be an upper Ohio Valley, period. I don't see that kind of wind here locally right now. Got a spammer. Hold on. Get rid of them. Sorry about that. Let's see. Is winter over? Technically, yes. But normally I would say you never know around here, but I am not seeing anything, guys, that right now it's disappointing and nothing has played out the way certainly as a snow lover, the way I was hoping it would. So I'm not thrilled about it myself, but at this point I'm like, let's just put this one away. Let's just go ahead and stop the winter part of this all and let's move on and try to do better for next year, right? Because right now this is a more stormy pattern than it is a snowy one for us. All right. How are you, pups, Laura? They are doing well. Thank you for asking. They have just been very chilled out. They don't like car rides anymore right now because they got a bad association with car rides, but they'll get over that. On the next pretty day, I can get them out. They'll get over it. All right, guys, I'm going to stop it there for now. I'm going to get started on the forecast update here and just stay close with us all week long. Again, quiet the next few days. Nothing to worry about. But if you do have any interest on Friday like Carissa does, then you want to stay close to the forecast. And yeah, we'll keep an eye on what's going to happen potentially for next week as well. All right, you all have a good rest of your Monday, and I will see you guys coming up on midday at 11 o'clock here for this morning. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care, and I'll see you here shortly.